I made it work. This is so exciting. All right. Just wanted to pop on a little early to make sure that I could do things on my own without amazing Bridget. I hope you have your drinks and you're ready to hear about some books. And the next thing that we have to work on is some background music. Please like and share this. More importantly, come hang out, comment. Since we're streaming this through Zoom, if you have any questions or anything, I will respond to them at the very end when I can see them. This is also being recorded. I say a lot, it's a really bad habit. We're gonna get there. So we are recording this, so we'll put it on our YouTube channel later. I'm in the young adult room and we're ready to go. Good morning and welcome to the very first Lit Lattes. I am so excited. I'm Arielle, the public services librarian here. I love books and I love talking about them more. So welcome. And hopefully this is working wonderfully. Let me double check our Facebook and make sure. Yes, wonderful. All right, let's get started. All right, new releases. So when I say new releases, I mean they have come out within the past couple of weeks and they're new to us. So they are available for you to put on hold whenever you want, if you want. Yeah, so let's just get started. We got some big heavy hitters in this week. We got The Order by Daniel Silva. It's already gone, but you can still put a hold on it. 28 Summers by Ellen Hildebrand, Near Dark by Brad Thor. We got 2 copies of Cajun Justice by James Patterson. And my goal for this year, well, for the rest of the year, I have never read James Patterson or Brad Thor or what's another big one, like C.J. Box. My goal is to like read or listen to. I do a lot of driving, so I'll talk a lot about audiobooks on here. But yeah, so if you have any recommendations of like the best James Patterson book, please put it in the comments and I will read it and I'll probably talk about it. A couple of other books that came out, The Answer Is by Alex Trebek. I would show these to you, but they have already departed the library as soon as we check them in. So that's super exciting. We absolutely love when books go out, of course, like our job. But there are 2 new books that we got, one last week and one yesterday that I'm super jazzed about. I am not a horror like genre reader, but these are 2 books that I've heard so much about that I'm so excited for. The first one is The Only Good Indians, written by Stephen Graham Jones. I forget like super small details. I wrote down like the little description that I'll read to you. He's seemingly blending classic horror and a dramatic narrative with sharp social commentary. The Only Good Indians follow 4 American Indian men after a disturbing event from their youth puts them in a desperate struggle for their lives. So that is a super good one. His bio on Amazon is like hilarious. He talks about wanting to wear pirate shirts and running around with a sword. That's kind of fun. The next book is Wonderland by Soja Stage. We made it super big yesterday. We shared this in our stack of new arrivals, and she reposted it on her Instagram, and she was so excited because this is the first library edition. I think they all look like this, but it doesn't matter. It's still cool. That she's seen, because all the libraries near her are still closed. So she was super excited about that, and we're super excited about that too. We always love interacting with other authors, so that's really neat. So this one is about a couple moving to the Adirondacks. Local story, we love that. And they discover dark secrets and a force calling from them under the earth and the trees. And I think basically the mom has to save them naturally. But we're so excited about this book, which are available, as you can see. So make a browsing appointment so you can come in and grab them, or put them on hold and come in and grab them at your leisure. We got some audiobooks. So I do the collection development for the library. So if there's ever like a book you're like, we need this, just let me know. You can send a message on Facebook or see me at the library, shout at me at the street, whatever you need to do, and let me know what you want for this library. We love that kind of input. So I was slacking a little bit with audiobook ordering, but now we're getting a ton of new titles in, which I, as you can imagine, very excited. I'm just excited about everything. It's my life. Right, so new audiobooks that we have. This is just a small selection. We just got Lisa Gardner's When You See Me. It's a good one. Also très popular. And James Patterson, Blindside. So that's good. If you are going on a trip anywhere, or you spend a lot of time in the car, or whenever, audiobooks are perfect. I never was really into audiobooks until I got an 1.5-hour commute. So now audiobooks are my life, and I'm a very slow reader because I have delicate eyes that get very tired. So audiobooks are literally like changing my life. Big fan. So the next 2 audiobooks I'm going to talk about, super jazzed. The first one is The Splendid and the Vile by Erik Larson. I love this man. He is an excellent writer. He wrote, I'm going to say, my favorite book, The Garden of Beasts, about the U.S. Ambassador William E. Dodd. I don't know why I have Todd. It's fine. William E. Dodd, who was the American ambassador to Germany during the rise of Hitler, and just like all that craziness. It's so good. The Splendid and the Vile is about Winston Churchill and the Blitz of London and just everything with that. Super good. Now I'm a little biased about this. There's a podcast that I listen to, and I tell pretty much anyone who listened to me about it. It's called The Last Podcast on the Left. 3 guys do it. And they just came out with a book called The Last Book on the Left. And if you're interested in just the macabre, this is perfect for you. They talk about serial killers, because everyone secretly loves true crime. Am I right? True crime, aliens, ghosts, super fun stuff. I have a degree in history, so as I guess technically you can call me a historian, I really appreciate the research that they do for their shows and for their book. So we have their audiobook, The Last Book on the Left, which they read. They are so funny. If you do end up listening to the podcast, do know that sometimes the language isn't always PG, but it's not like rampant, like obnoxious. So definitely check this out. They talk about, the top serial killers in this book and ebook, not ebook. Well, yeah, that too, but audiobook. So this is a super good one. All right, so those are our new releases for books and audiobooks. Next, we're going to talk about what is Arielle reading. So like I said, I do a lot of driving, which is totally fine with me. So I'm listening to The Starless Sea. I love Erin Morgenstern. She wrote The Night Circus, which is probably another one of my top favorite books. This one is so beautifully written. And I don't know if you've read The Night Circus, but she just has a way of like developing worlds that you just get swept in, and like I feel like this is just like a love letter to Erin, but they're just so rich and well thought, and it's beautiful. I love this book, and like I don't want it to end, but like I do kind of want it to end because there's 1,000 other things that I want to listen to. But this, it's so beautiful. Highly recommend. I'm also reading Alice Lichtenstein's The Crime of Being. We're going to talk with her in a couple of weeks, and then we're doing a local author summer series. And we're going to talk with Alice August 12th, which is a Wednesday at 7 p.m. Please check out our event page on Facebook, which you are already in, and get your ticket through Eventbrite just to hear us chat a little bit about this book. And then at the end that she's going to take your questions. So I really like this book because it's a bunch of different perspectives that just build like a super good story. Like when an event happens, like it just doesn't happen to the people in that particular event. It's just everybody else, if that makes sense. Like it affects an entire community. And so what The Crime of Being is about, upstate town in New York, two high school kids, one is white, the other is black. And on a Good Friday, the white student goes and tries to kill his black classmate. So this is just a story of that and how it just affects everybody in the community. And I love it. So can't wait to finish that and see how it ends. Last thing I'm going to be looking, I love cookbooks. Like a Local by Chris Shepard is one beautiful. I love the pictures in it and it's super fun. So yeah, I think he won the James Beard award. I could be lying. I heard about him on another podcast I listened to called The Splendid Table. And yeah, really enjoyed that. I'm probably gonna pick some stuff from here too. All right, now for a fun little thing. I'm gonna get Lex on here. Where is she? Will let Zoom figure out its life? And get her on here. Once connection is ready. While she appears, let me read a little bio about her. Lex is a library clerk here at HML, about to start an online program to earn her master's in information and library science. She gets super excited about kaleidoscopes, extraordinarily green moss, and dogs who look like seals. So fun. Her time off is split between kayaking, hiking, cooking, and hanging out with her massive flock of ducks. I would also like to note that she is an extraordinary photographer of green moss and is super fun. So we're going to chat with her today. Hi, Lex.
Hello.
All right. Let me try. That helps when I turn up the volume. My laptop. Anyway, so every week we're going to try to get a guest on here to just talk about what they like to read. So, Lex, what do you like to read?
I mostly like to read memoir. That's my favorite genre, and I read a lot of poetry. Big fan of nonfiction.
Wonderful. That was not one of the questions I gave her, so good job. All right, let's start from the beginning. When you grew up, what did you like to read? What was your favorite book as a child?
I was definitely a huge Harry Potter fan, so that whole series, I read them multiple times, way too many times each. But I think it's worth noting that right now I do not support J.K. Rowling and her ideas.
Yes, very important to note. Thank you. Just because you're rich doesn't mean anything. Okay, so I know this is a super hard question because it's so hard picking your favorite books. But what would you say are the top 3?
Top 3. Well, I definitely have a top 1. Number 1 favorite book is Autobiography of Red by Anne Carson. My friend gave me a copy of this book probably about 4 years ago, and when I read it, I was like, okay, favorite book for life. Anything by Anne Carson is really incredible. I would definitely recommend you check her out.
I'll write her down.
Another one that I really like that I read last year is called In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. I have a copy right here. This is and we got this book in December of last year, and it's definitely the most important book I read all year. Really,
I think we read this one kind of at the same time, right?
Or were you reading it? Did you listen to it or did you read it?
I read it. I couldn't get enough of this book. I finished it super fast, which is saying a lot for me. I mean, the vignettes definitely made it go faster. There were a lot of times that I was like, oh God, like it just gutted me. And then I'd like have to reread it. I would also highly suggest that book. It is so good. And I do think that I said that was my favorite book of 2019. Hands down. So good. And it's so beautifully written too.
Yeah, and you can see like some of the pages, like that's one whole page. So it does go by pretty quickly. You just have to stop and clutch your heart multiple times.
Yeah. Just really quick, that book is about basically an abusive relationship. And so it's really gut-wrenching, and it is, of course, a true story. And it's super excellent. So I know we'd probably give that 5 stars for sure. Probably 6 if that's a thing. All right, you got another one?
Yes. So I picked a book of poetry that I really enjoyed that a friend lent to me. It's called Hymn for the Black Terrific, and the poet's name is Kiki Petrosino.
Excellent.
I recommend.
What is that? Oh, you said it was poetry. Okay, never mind. I was like, can you tell me a little bit more about what that's about? Yes. Do you have like a main go-to genre? I think you talked about a little bit about that. Nonfiction, big one.
Always interested in reading about other people's lives and trying to understand them and understand myself, and reading about people who live different lives than I do. I think is really important.
Super important. All right. Here's the best question ever. What books do you hate? Because we always pick up books and we're like, we don't always love them.
So ready for this. I have them right here. The first one is called How to Date Men When You Hate Men by Blythe Roberson.
I am so excited that you're talking about this because there is a vlogger that I just found on YouTube who rips this book apart. So now it is your turn.
Scathing review on Goodreads last year when I read it because I was just frustrated and really had to share my thoughts. So this has, you know, a fun cover. I saw it on the new shelf here actually before I worked here when I was just a patron. And I was like, cool, this looks like it might be maybe a little funny, relatable, we'll see. And I was really disappointed. I thought it was really not what the cover suggests. The woman who wrote this, I believe she was 27 at the time when she wrote it. She claims to be, you know, intersectional feminist, and that's a really misleading title to talk about hating men if you're a feminist. Really sends the wrong message, but also it was really just like an account of her experiences with casual dating. And then the whole time throughout the book, she was like, I've never gone on a date, but here's a whole book about all the dates I've gone on and what these boys did. And she always called them all the boys. She referred to them the boys I'm kissing, again, 27, and just about all these things they did that she didn't like. And then she talked about the actor Timothy Chalamet in every chapter. Again, she's 27 and he's like, what, 22, 20, looks like he's 14. I'm not sure how old he is, but
good for her. Didn't she also have like a spreadsheet of like her crushes and like where she was at with them?
I think I probably blacked that out of rage. So but yeah, I really did not like this book. I would not recommend it. There was like maybe one thing where I was like, oh, okay, cool.
I would also like to note that I did not buy this book, so no one can blame me for this.
Yeah, why don't
before my time? I don't know. We can put it out in the free books.
Yeah. The other book that I really don't like is called My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Alessa Moshbegg. Here is that one. I don't hate this one as much as I hated Blythe's book. It was just really strange. So basically it was about a woman who was really quite alone. Both of her parents had passed away. She had pretty much 2, maybe 3 people in her life that she talked about, and they were both pretty toxic. She worked at a gallery, and she just decided she was going to sleep through the year. It might have been like 6 months or something. She made this plan where she took all of these pills that would cause her to sleep for 3 days, 4 days, something like that, wake up, take another set of pills, like after eating maybe a meal, and then do it all over again, except that like throughout her sleeping, she was actually awake for a lot of it and wandering the streets and getting into some trouble. Yeah, it was really strange and toxic book, I thought. And people love it, and I don't really.
That is wild. Wild. You know what? Good for her. Good for her.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like, how is that book so long if she just slept? Like, what do you have to write about?
Yeah, she like did some stuff in between the drugs, I guess. I didn't really understand it while I was reading, and I just kind of wished I had stopped, but so it goes.
When you read a book and you have already decided to read it, it sounds like you keep reading it. Why do you punish yourself like this?
Didn't know we were gonna get so deep here today, Eric. I'm trying on that. I don't think it's a good thing to continue reading a book that you don't like, but I guess with the first one, it didn't take a long time to read. I read it in like 2 days. And I was just kind of like, at this point, there's got to be more to this, and then there wasn't. With the novel, it was like sort of intriguing in a kind of sick way, so I kept with it. And I've done that with other books too. Anyway.
For the longest time, if there was a book that I didn't like, I would be like, you have to keep reading it. That's not the case. We're here to give you permission.
Yeah.
Do not read books that just do not serve you. So you're welcome. Here's your piece of advice for your Friday morning. Who are some of your favorite writers?
Well, I already talked about Anne Carson. She's definitely up there. I have since read a few of her other books, and everything she writes just completely blows me away. I also really like David Sedaris.
He is popular here.
Yeah, definitely. All of his books are really funny, and I saw him read live and just cracked up the whole time. So big fan of his work as well. And then another poet that's important to me, who is important to me, I should say, is Anne Sexton.
Excellent. What's your favorite poem from her?
Oh, I'm not sure. I read her collected works like as one book in college or after college, and I don't remember what the titles are.
Sure, that's a fair question. I did not remember for that one. Sometimes I just ask follow-up questions. What are you currently reading?
I am not currently reading anything, which is shocking, only because yesterday I finished the book I was reading, which is...
That's fair.
was Ordinary Girls by Jakira Diaz, which is another memoir. Really good. Still kind of processing it. It took me a while to read, but I would definitely recommend it. She is a very strong and intense person in a really admirable way. And she wrote about growing up in Puerto Rico and then moving to Miami Beach and kind of everything that she and her friends and her family went through.
Wonderful. We talked a little bit about this, but what do you think you're going to read next? Like, what's on your to be read list?
Oh, well, we'll see. I got to go through my stack of books at home. I think I'm probably going to go with a book that I checked out last week called Salvage the Bones by Jesmyn Ward, which is fiction. Because I've been reading a lot of nonfiction. I kind of want a little, need a little break from that.
From reality. Absolutely. Good. You did it. We got through all the heavy hitters. Now we're gonna do something a little fun. Because I love fun and I love quizzes, so why not do a fun quiz? So this week we're gonna ask Lex a couple of questions and see how her pop culture knowledge measures up. All right, this week the quiz is, can you guess which classical piece of literature these modern movies are based on? All right, the first one, this is multiple choice. I think that's fair. The first movie is Clueless. Is it A, Emma, B, Sense and Sensibility, C, Wuthering Heights, or D, The Great Gatsby?
The Great Gatsby. I've never seen, but I'm gonna go.
I saw Clueless for the first time like a month ago. I'm 34 years old.
Is it? Is it worth it? Should I watch it? Yeah.
Maybe watch it to watch it, I guess, to say you have watched it. But I mean, Paul Rudd's in it, so that's kind of.
All right. Well, based on a multiple choice, which is very helpful, I'm going to go with A, Emma.
Got it. All right. I actually enjoyed this next movie. It's like my little guilty pleasure. Anyways, easy A. Is it A, Pygmalion, B, Little Women, C, Pride and Prejudice, or D, The Scarlet Letter?
No, it's The Scarlet Letter.
It is The Scarlet Letter. That's why she wears the A. Okay, the next one is The Lion King. Is it A, Hamlet, B, The Tale of Two Cities, C, The Count of Monte Cristo, not Crisco, not the fat, or D, King Lear?
Oh, nice. Throw him off at the king at the end. Yeah, it's I knew this one too. Hamlet.
It is Hamlet. Cool. As soon as I saw that, I was like, yep, yes, that's exactly what that is. All right. I did know this next one, which good for me, I guess. 10 Things I Hate About You. Is it Pride and Prejudice, The Taming of the Shrew, Pygmalion, or The Great Gatsby?
I love that you keep throwing the Great Gatsby in here,
I know.
which has its own movie, multiple movies.
Multiple.
Is it The Taming of the Shrew?
It is The Taming of the Shrew. You are 4 for 4. That's not bad. All right, last one. She's the Man. I have never seen this. Your choices are The Count of Monte Cristo, Much Ado About Nothing, Twelfth Night, or A Tale of Two Cities.
She's the Man. Amanda Bynes playing soccer on the boys' team.
Yes.
Doesn't give me a lot to go on.
It doesn't.
Channing Tatum is in that as well, I think.
Maybe?
Can you read them again?
Yeah. The Count of Monte Cristo, Much Ado About Nothing, Twelfth Night, or A Tale of Two Cities.
12th Night.
5 for 5. Nailed it. Go get your gold star downstairs. All right. That is it. Do you want to hear This Week in History? You want to just stay on for a little bit? We're almost done. All right. I already mentioned that I went to school for history. Naturally, I love it. I want you to love it too. So, on Tuesday was Beatrix Potter's birthday. She was born 150 years ago, and of course, she is famous for the Tales of Peter Rabbit, which was, and I did not know this, first published in 1901. That's a long time ago. I read these. So as a child, I was just like, this just came out, right? This is new material. So I like fun facts. So here are a few that I found on Mental Floss. Mental Floss is wonderful. I used to get that magazine, and now I just look at the website. I don't buy magazines anymore. All right. Her first name was actually Helen, and she was named after her mother, but she went by her middle name. She was seen as a disappointment by her mother, who just wanted her to go on social calls and get married. I mean, it was the time, right? She did get married, but it wasn't until she was 47. Scandal. And she was an accomplished sheep farmer. So there we go. First episode of Lit Lattes. We did it in 30 minutes.
Hey.
We did it. Lex, thank you so much for being my first guest. We're definitely going to have you on again because you just read everything and I love it. All right. Same time next week, everybody. Friday, 10 a.m. And hopefully this worked and we just didn't waste 30 minutes just talking to ourselves. We'll figure it out. All right. Thank you and have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye.